Are we just being a little baby? Mr. Mooch Man. Mr. Mooch Loverton. Well, there you have it, early gang. The early gang gets the mochi. That's what they say. It's what word on the street is, anyways. Good morning, gang. Hey, here's something fun. If you are not watching this live and you want to just get right into the topic, you don't care for the usual, like, welcome to the stream spiel, you should be able to just double tap that fast forward 30 seconds button until you get where you want to be. If you are live, you are just stuck with me here in the now. How about that? But welcome or welcome back to another Dadvocate live stream. I am your host, Lauren, and this is a place where we talk about relationships, dating, parenting, co-parenting, breakups, marriage, divorce. We make fun of cheaters, we call out double standards, and the really cool thing about these live streams is that they're audio only friendly. Meaning, even though we do react to visual cues, I will do my best to verbally describe everything going on screen so that you do not have to stare at your phone. You should be able to enjoy this stream whether you are taking a walk, lifting weights at the gym, driving in your car, or doing whatever else it is people do while listening to podcasts. If you don't want to sit through the entirety of, the good couple hours we stay live here, you can always revisit it back in your library too. Lord knows I will nurse a 3-hour video for like a week straight sometimes. It be like that. But that said, if you are watching live, please do feel free to take advantage of the chat. You should see it showing up on screen here. Please feel free to take advantage of the super chats. That's probably the best way to get my attention, just because YouTube does a really great job of like itemizing them in a very noticeable way for me, so that even if I don't catch them while they're on screen, I should be able to like get back to them in a good break of the conversation. Like right now, for example. It's not exactly a super chat, but a members chat, which, by the way, thank you to our sponsors, anybody who likes the stream, and our patrons and YouTube members. There are, I want to say 4, but definitely 3 early access videos in the vault right now for patron and YouTube members. So in case you're interested, Patreon especially has a back to school special for 25% off with code TRIPOD. Every tier comes with unique custom Dadvocate merch, such as this t-shirt. Yeah, I'm wearing a t-shirt of myself while streaming. I'm just trying to get better at plugging. I understand that is important. I said plugging, not pegging. You freaking perverts, okay? I caught you. But with all that said, I think that's all of the housekeeping I had for you. It's 11 o'clock, so I say without further ado, we just get right into the theme of the stream. Now, we cover a lot of things on this channel. We cover some womansplaining, and we cover some partner shaming. By now, if you're not familiar, the formula of the partner shaming goes like this. You secretly film or record something bad or embarrassing or toxic that your partner has done. Step 2, you post either the footage or you talking about it online, publicly, to the masses. Step 3 is there's usually a consequence, be it your husband or spouse finds out and is unhappy with you, friends and family find out, their work finds out, something gets messy. So step 5 is usually what I call the just kidding, we're fine video. This is typically where they say, it was a joke. You guys just don't get it. You haven't been married long enough. Once you're married long enough, you'll get it. You just don't get our sense of humor, and all of the consequences become our fault, the viewer, not the one who curated and posted the video. Who's familiar with this formula? Another sweet, sweet super chat and members chat here. Roll for Chaos says, my toddler saw Mochi and got excited. That's because your toddler is a child of culture, quite frankly. Rob Hellfire, thank you for actually, I think the first super chat of the day. So shout out Rob Hellfire, as usual. Much love to you and all you do, Lauren. Rob is always laying the love down in these streams. You can always count on Rob for just bringing the positivity, okay? All that said, I bring up the partner shaming element because today we are going to cover a viral situation that it falls under the partner shaming umbrella, I think we can safely say. A woman posts a video that seems to shame her husband, but not only does she shame her husband's behavior, something about the video has led almost every single person who viewed it to believe that her husband is also cheating on her. The results of such a video, well, they sure are gonna shock ya when it follows the exact same formula as always. So, as usual on this channel, we cannot save these hoes non-derogatory, but we can learn from these hoes non-derogatory or gender specific. So without further ado, let us get into the first inciting incident, the video that initially went viral and has got the people talking. Oh, wait, oh snap, thank you Zonji for all of the memberships. That's amazing. Everybody enjoy your memberships. You have custom emotes to use now. Like I said, you've got a ton of early access in the vault. We did a members only live this last Tuesday, so while you missed it live, you now have access to watch it, and we've got another one coming up in a couple weeks. So we do 2 members only lives at least every month, but maybe I'll get frisky and do one next week. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, let's get into it. What we have on screen is a woman sitting in a chair, looking very defeated, annoyed, you could say. Her hand is kind of like on her temple, as if like in a deep exasperated sigh. The text overlay reads, imagine your husband leaving for golf at 6:45 a.m. and he's still not back for bedtime. It's currently 8:34 p.m. It's a pretty short clip, right? It's only about 6 seconds, but sometimes with these things, it's really the text overlay that says it all. And in this situation, it's not looking good, right? Like if we take her at her word and we just take the situation at face value as we look at it, that's over 12 hours of golfing. Now, far, 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 far be it from me to claim to know anything about golf. Now, putt-putt, ooh, I can get down on some putt-putt any single day. So fun. Real golf, I will not even pretend to have any idea. But I know people who golf. My husband on occasion golfs. My stepson on occasion golfs. My father-in-law golfs, okay? And all of him and his brothers golf, okay? A lot of the people in the family golf. Even if you're doing every hole, don't you clip it. You guys have already clipped it. It's too late. Even if you really commit to what is it? 12 is like the full one. 9 is like, I think, the an easy day. It takes a while. I think easy 8 hours. I think easy an 8 hour day. If you're doing a full 12 round day, but we're pushing like the 14-hour mark. That's oof. And I mean, like, some people might think, oh, that's nothing, like my husband works that kind of shift every day at work. There are some women who are like, great, that's more time that you don't have to deal with your husband. Aren't you so happy? But clearly she's not very happy about it. Perhaps as I make sure to do every hole. I deserved that. 18 is the max. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking of golf like a bakery or something. Even then, a baker's dozen is 13. I have to get my whole knowledge up. Okay. She's not very happy. Now, listen. Quick vote. Quick vote, chat. I need your opinions. How many of you looked at this, read that, and thought, at the very least, I don't know that he's cheating, but that's very sus behavior? How many? How many of you? I will admit I was in that camp. A gavel click for me, because I was definitely like, that's a really long time, babes. That's an incredibly annoyingly long amount of time. Big Purple Panda 13. Good morning, Lauren. You're looking very beautiful. Oh, thank you. Yeah. That's so nice. So it says, first of all, 14 hours is way longer than golf is. Now, someone else brings up a great point. TNS 5044 says, aren't you supposed to socialize at the bar after every round of golf? Some of y'all in the cheating camp. Some of y'all are in the seems sus camp. And some of you are like, I do not jump to cheating necessarily. Okay. Let's read some of the comments though. Okay, bestie, here's the plan. Tomorrow, you're up at 6 a.m. with his credit card all day and home at 9 p.m. Deal? 48,000 likes. Now, here's the thing. Every once in a while, I see a meme that's like, I really feel like I should pick up a hobby where I get to be gone for 8 hours a day. And I'm like, I mean, I agree that free time and hobby time should ideally be pretty equal amongst the spouses in the home. I mean, any disagreement there? I don't think there's any problem with that. The area where that hypothetical becomes unequal is I don't think that he was necessarily like taking any financial assets away from her by doing that, unless he's like truly misappropriating the family funds. But it sounds like she consents to the golf outing. I think they should just also agree on a reasonable outing between their mutual funds for her. We don't have to be super spiteful about it. Just be like, okay, that was a really long time, so I'm definitely gonna, you definitely owe me, I think is fair. Another married single mom. Marked safe from marrying a man who likes golf. Thank God. OP likes that comment. So 18 holes takes 6 hours max. Again, like I said, I don't know much about golf. But yeah, 18 holes lasting 8 hours is pretty normal, I would say. If your partner is like, I'm gonna go do 18 holes, you can expect you will not be seeing them for like a full business day. 12 hours is disrespectful. He's playing something. I don't know if it's golf. Golf is such a red flag. Who are these wives that allow this? Nah, girl, boss up. 25,000 likes. We need to rise up against our golf-loving oppressors. Feminists against golf. It's not gonna be my new merch. It's just like a woman like breaking a golf club in half over her knee, and she's got a mohawk that's blue, and it just says feminists against golf. Golf is oppressive. Men can't play golf if they're dead. I shouldn't be laughing because like somewhere out there there's a girl who did not grow up with a father who is like, this girl spit. Oh, I should not be laughing this hard at this. Also, I am trying to figure out how to make my chat box like taller so I can fit more texts. But I'm being stupid about it. So if anybody can email me, lauren@dadvocate.net, with like some coding knowledge, I might figure it out by then. Anyway, I'm going to read a couple more of these. No, because golf days piss me off so bad. You don't get a 12-plus-hour day for a hobby anymore when you're a parent. But that's me being bitter. LMAO. OP likes this. You know what's interesting is like she admits that like she's just projecting that this is jealousy. Because like I feel the same way whenever I think about like people who live with their parents still and like don't have any bills to pay. I'm like, I want to put it down like, oh yeah, you still have to live with your parents, but I know deep down I'm like jealous AF that like they have so much extra support. You know what I mean? Although like my parents probably would let me live with them, but I could not mentally tolerate that. No offense, mom and dad, if you're watching, but I feel like I say that regularly. They know what's up. I'm like in moderation, y'all. In moderation. Very few people I want to live with, you know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, I feel like every parent deserves a day to themselves once in a while. Like that's kind of like a bummer to say. Like once you're a parent, you don't ever get a day to yourself anymore. Like um come on now. Like that it just reminds me of like the my life was hard so yours should be too crowd. Like man, if you have family and friends who will take your kid and you can trust them, you know your kid's going to have a great day. Go have yourselves a great day, dude. What do you mean? You can't pour from an empty cup. Y'all are way too nice. OP likes that too. This person just said he doesn't want to be a family man. And so on and so forth. You know how these comment sections go. These people are tearing this man's ass apart. They do not like him. Now, OP is clearly engaging with some of the comments. This is the thing, is these people always post these videos hoping for validation, hoping to be reassured, maybe hoping for like clout, money, views, things like that. But I feel like 9 times out of 10, the situations they mostly just like need to be validated. And so when they get that validation, you see that they get excited about it, but enter the consequence part of the formula. They also begin receiving, you know, not so much criticism in this realm. Everybody seems to be on her side, but I don't think she was expecting so many people to like completely hate her husband and assume the worst and think like, this is a deadbeat ass dad. He doesn't want to be in the family. Like, divorce, babes, divorce. Like, the usual song and dance that's going to come from this. So, of course, the next video is going to be her completely incredulous that anyone would dare think that he was cheating. How could this happen?
Oh boy.
So, the video is basically just her looking like shocked, and it's in response to the comment, I'm just gonna say it, he's not golfing. Caption reads, the amount of comments I've gotten alluding to another woman is wild. Is it though? Is it? Like, I'm having a really hard time believing that there was not a single part of you that anticipated that when you posted this, people might think that like something untoward or salacious might be occurring, right? Like, really, you can't believe that anybody would think negatively about your husband after you posted that? In what world? People, especially on TikTok, are foaming at the mouth for more reasons to hate men. They cannot get enough of it, especially the single ones or the divorced ones, the misery loves company crowd. They want you to hate your husband too. They would love for you to tell them reasons to hate your husband and convince you to also hate your husband and leave your husband. Don't believe me? Look at your own comment section. Sadly, my only competition is the other golf husbands in the neighborhood. Many don't have young children or a baby on the way at home. And yes, I do have his location. He has mine too, so an air tag on the golf cart isn't necessary. Now, we'll see when we open up the comments. There was like a lot of concern about the having locations on thing. I think I've mentioned before, my husband and I have each other's location. It's incredibly useful for like deducing how far they are away, for planning dinner, or, you know, whenever I'm like going on a run by myself, I feel a lot safer knowing that he can literally watch me run around. You know, there are definitely like wholesome, not insecure or like possessive reasons that people might share their locations. So I'm not really gonna hate on her for that. And I appreciate that she's trying to now defend her husband's honor. But it's a little one of those like a little too late type of things. One of those like you really can't put the toothpaste back in the tube kind of things, because like I think we saw the last video was quite viral. This one we've got like 166 likes. We've almost been completely ratioed in the comment section. You're never going to get the same virality on the fire or the follow up, the cleanup duty, the, you know, the, what's the word I'm looking for? The term. It'll come to me. But basically just trying to clean up the mess you made. You know, there's way less people looking at that. Hold on, what was the super chat? Thank you, Brian Herbert. Feminists Against Golf. Not the best acronym. Oh, God. Oh, no. FAG. Represent. It was already like a hilariously bad idea from the jump, but I really underestimated just how bad of an idea that truly was. So anyway, here are some of the top comments on this, though. As usual, this is one part of the partner shaming formula that, like, every side does seem to agree on. Like, when a partner shaming video first drops, typically we're very divided. There's either the people who take the narrator at full face value, they agree that whoever's being shamed deserves it, they fully take their side. Then there's the people who scrutinize the fact that this was even made public, and so they now automatically question all of the motives involved. But by the time the just kidding, we're fine video is introduced, generally we're all on the same team. The people who were like, this person is terrible and you need to leave them, and the people who are like, you should have never posted this, are now like, see, we told you she's goofy. Like, because it's just, there's no intellectual consistency, so you're not going to even be able to keep a side on your side. Girl, what's not clicking? Who said we're talking about other women? You know, I guess I didn't even think about the Grindr accusations, but all right, I guess that's another aspect. These women are like, no, honey, he's not cheating on you with a woman. Your husband is definitely gay. I know that from the 6-second clip that you posted. I know. Why? How is it not clicking? How is it not clocking to you yet? This is the problem. Like, you'll literally, this is what I mean, like foaming at the mouth to make you hate your husband. Not that being gay is hateable. That's definitely not the point. Okay? But like, trying to make you think of the like craziest possible situations. Again, not that being gay is crazy. It's just you would hope that your husband, who you're having another child with, after maybe it's their first child, that she's only just pregnant with their first child, you would hope that there was not like an undisclosed, unexplored sexuality. Is all I'm saying from either side. Gay men don't like it when their husbands come out as straight either. Okay. I think we can we get back on board here? I think I'm fighting the demons in my own head. None of you guys are even mad at me. Don't put your life on the internet if you don't want to hear what people have to say. The best wives have men that are so loving and a good husband and are the last to know. But if you're truly not happy about it, you need to fix it. Sit him down and talk to him instead of the world. Pop off, Michelle. You go. You go, Michelle Padilla. No real man would willingly stay away from his family for 12 hours unless something else was happening. Something else was happening. He was golfing. Like, I'm sorry, but like girls have girl days. Like moms take like trips with their family and they like do things outside of their kids as they should. Like, who your identity is should not be automatically put on pause just because you become a parent. My friend and her husband live literally right next to a golf course. I asked how long he stayed out, and she said no more than 4 hours. Whatever your husband is doing, it's not golf. Okay, well, golf can definitely take over 4 hours. So you're receiving like a silly AI information apparently. And then one more. I'm going to say this in the kindest way possible. I've been married for 13 and a half years. We have 2 little boys, and my husband would never even consider being gone 14 hours for a hobby. This is absolutely unacceptable. She got her husband in trouble, or do you think he got himself in trouble? Dare we even vote on this? Dare we think about it? Is being gone 14 hours in a marriage just automatically never okay? Like, it sounds like to some degree they discussed it. I feel like there's definitely been times where I knew my husband was going to be gone over 14 hours for something. Oh man. Zunhin GED is back talking about hooking up with his hairdresser in the comment section. Now we're adding in details. I'm going on a trip with my married hairdresser that has 3 kids. Okay, homie. All right. Have fun, bro. So now, the next several videos that this woman is going to create are her working overtime to now try and convince the internet that her husband is definitely not cheating and you guys are all silly and wrong and the bad guys for thinking that he is cheating and how dare you and you're crazy. Let me see if I can read this. The response, or the comment that she's responding to is, as a golf mistress as well, I think it's so sweet that you want your husband to continue to find joy in his hobbies. I don't see anything wrong with that. However, I can't think of a single outing that would, and I'm assuming the rest of that comment is like require that much amount of time. So now this is her posting, my toxic trait as a wife is wanting my husband to also enjoy hobbies, but then the time commitment is blown out of the water. This is like very strangely phrased because I can't tell if this is her doing it like an internal review and kind of assessing that like she is the one who blew his time commitment out of the water to where now it's having negative repercussions on her and her husband and family's image at large and reputations, or if this is her continuing to slam down on her husband's golf hobbies, saying that he has blown his hobby commitments out of the water. Let's see. The Coner says, I've been out over 12 hours golfing. We went to the mountains to a beautiful course, 3 to 4 hours drive either way. Okay, so in your situation, a lot of the 14-hour collective was travel for the scenic route of the course, which makes sense. But it sounds as though, from further information that will be revealed, that the golf course was not far away. We'll see what we mean. Let's see some of the comments on this one. Caption on this one is, the comment section ran wild with my last video. Again, so freaking predictable. Every single time one of these people is just like starting to receive repercussions and consequences for posting like, hey, my husband did a really shitty thing. And then when everybody's like, your husband's shitty, they're like, whoa, 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 you guys are out of control. You did this. You cooked this meal. What do you mean it smells like the meal you cooked, dude? The comment section ran wild with my last video. We live in a golf club community and the invite days are long. This wasn't a standard 18 round. Add in registration, 3 meals, vendors, shootouts, and dilly-dallying drinks. Dude, I really hate this whole, like, I'm going to post a video looking miserable, exhausted, taken for granted, taken advantage of, and unleash it to an audience that has no additional context whatsoever. I'm not going to do them any favors by providing any additional context. I'm only going to present a situation that appears as though my husband is mistreating the out of me. Then, when the audience assumes that your husband is mistreating the out of you, you're gonna go, how could you think that? Of course there's a valid reason for him being gone and I don't mind. What made you think I minded? You are gaslighting us right now, ma'am. How dare you? I hate when they partner shame and then try to gaslight us into thinking they weren't. How dare you? You acted like, how dare this happen? And now you're like, well, of course it happened. Did you just need to create a villain somewhere? Where did you get mistreated from? I'm greatly being charitable in her favor right now to mirror like what she was conveying, the way that the audience at large seemed to interpret the video. I mean, everybody assumed that he was cheating on her, so therefore I think cheating is a pretty fair version of mistreating as people interpreted it. I'm not saying that's what he did, but I'm saying that is what she portrayed and is now upset that people took it that way. That's the issue, right? Samantha said, yeah, that's exactly what she did, isn't it? We aren't crazy. Nope, we are not. Let's see some of the comments. Bucky says, so my husband is an avid golfer, and when I showed him your other videos, he literally looked at me and said, yeah, no way he's golfing all that time. Please be smart and listen to the voices in your head and heart. And all the voices on TikTok now, apparently. Man, my husband works away from home Monday through Friday. Can't imagine what my comments would say. This is what I mean by women can make or break their husband's reputation. It don't take much either way, too. Nobody, and I mean nobody, golfs for that long, I promise you. My dad was almost a pro ANC. He was, pro and he was home. But do you get the same in return? And then OP likes it. This I hate these partner shamers, man. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. What is it Jesus said? Don't hate the sinner, hate the sin. Gotta listen to the boy Jay Crizzle on this one. Maybe don't take it that far. But I hate this partner shaming behavior because she's gonna be on here. First, she's gonna go, "My husband's a piece of shit." Then when people are like, "Your husband's a piece of shit," she's gonna be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why would you guys say my husband's a piece of shit? My husband is not a piece of shit. There are very valid, methodically sound reasons for everything that my husband has done. You guys just don't understand." And then when they're like, "No, he's a piece of shit," you're there. She's like, "You're right. You're right." Like, can you please just pick a lane? Like, that's why I almost appreciate the partner shamers who do file for divorce. Because it's like, you know what? At least you committed to the bit. But these, pretty much almost every other partner shamer, the grand majority, and not even like a small, like barely made it majority, I'm talking like 95 at least, maybe like 97 to 98% of partner shamers, they just they only do it to teach their partner a lesson, and then they expect the relationship to just go on as usual. If not, they expect to be treated even better than ever before because of this. They really do. And they want to be able to blame us, the commenters, for why things seemed to go wrong. So she keeps going with the excuses. It's just her in a golf cart with the dog because now she has to really like demonstrate, like, no, guys, we live in a golf community. It's a golf community. And so it's actually extremely normal. Also, Samantha, I noticed I missed your super chat when she says, "I mean, my man doesn't leave me for long." Thank goodness. I love a semi-clingy man, okay? I love that TJ is always eager to get home to me. But anyway, responding to a comment that reads, "Random dad here. Was there a special event as well that this is attached to his golf day, such as a birthday for one of his buddies? This seems a little long, to be honest. If I'm leaving at 6:45, it's for an 8 a.m. tea time." She responds by saying, "We moved into a golf community where the invitational days are apparently a big deal and long. I'm realizing that this weekend was the last one, so they went all out." I mean, I guess props for like taking accountability of like, okay, maybe I was like a little too disappointed at first because I didn't understand how golf is supposed to work. Like maybe she like is now realizing that, but like again, this video has 36 likes compared to the one where her husband looks like a cheating bastard. Okay. So the cleanup crew is not exactly doing a whole lot. Hi, Punslinger. What's the caption read? "Last invitational of the year. I am not defending the time commitment because it is truly a long ass day, but my husband is literally in our golf cart in our neighborhood. He's not cheating." Shaking my head. So now she's trying to make everybody happy. She's trying to make the people who hate her husband happy by being like, "I agree, like my husband is still a piece of shit." But then she's also trying to make the people against partner shaming happy by being like, "But he's also not a piece of shit, guys." Like, she will not pick a lane. She has gotten in way too deep. Is there a TJ? You better not be just talking about some other TJ. You know I get excited. There is probably another TJ in here, huh? Listen, don't play with my heart like that, okay? Me and TJ have realized we truly are Morticia and Gomez. Like, we are truly obsessed with each other. So don't play me and say my husband is in the chat and then my husband is not in the chat. I will cry. So now she feels like she has to put like literally the entire schedule of events to literally create an alibi for my husband. Y'all, if I have to literally like build an alibi as if my husband is freaking on the stand because of a video I made, I have like, the indisputably, dude, you put your own damn husband on trial now. That's crazy. Registration at 7. Breakfast / warm up 7:30 to 9. First tea times 9 a.m. Breakfast lunch 3 to 5. Dinner and bets 5 to 7. Drink till dusk. Then final shootout. Come on, everybody. Don't you get it? I'm not the problem. You're the problem. What do some of these comments say? There's not a whole lot of them. Okay, so yeah, like she's still hating on her husband though. This comment says, I feel like not communicating is unacceptable. She likes that. You mean like how you didn't communicate with us when you first posted that? Now she might not have realized that was the schedule until after, but can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Next time you go with him on this 13-hour golf excursion, can you imagine, like, that sounds like the most miserable marriage of all time. Like, it's okay for your spouse to have hobbies that you don't share. Like, I like playing tabletop games with my husband, but I am not prepared to put in the same time commitments to campaigns like my husband is. So he's committed to a lot of D&D campaigns that I'm not a part of. I am way like the biggest dumb jock. My husband is a very fit man, but he doesn't really care for like the athletics and like the big events like jujitsu and running half marathons as I am. So like I participate in that stuff without him. And like, could you imagine how miserable it would be feeling like you have to go along with these things just to prevent your spouse from cheating on you? Like, that sucks, dude. Like, I sleep way better at night, like, trusting my husband, like, not having to, like, audit him to make sure there are no indiscretions. Like, why would you give that advice? Why would you put that kind of, like, anxiety-ridden task and emotional debt onto a person? Like, that's a miserable. Just break up at that point. If you have to literally do like babysit them for 12 hours to make sure they're not like putting their hands on anyone else's pants, like that's not worth it. That's not fun, dude. As long as he also gives you the 13-hour days to do something for yourself, which like again I've agreed with from the jump. I do think that's fair. I do think it's unfair if one person is getting all the hobby time and the other person is just made to like take on all of the labor in your stead. I will agree with that. I'm not a golf wife, but hubby and I both have hobbies that require long time commitments occasionally, and it's fine. And then she just basically says communication may have been a little off. OP likes this. It's not hard for him to contact you. Okay, so she's going to be fighting for her life to get the girlies to stop absolutely hating her husband at this point. And she's going to keep it going.
Thank you so much for spending time with me.
So she does another like sound bite where she's once again like trying to make it seem like she's having fun while like desperately trying to convince people that her husband is not cheating on her. This comment reads, breakfast, registration. It could take up to 5.5 hours during a golf tournament. Then dinner. As a woman that golfs a lot, 30 to 35 rounds a year. Many tournaments too. I can attest that some golf days, and then it cuts off. She says, imagine posting one video about being an overstimulated toddler mama after a day of solo parenting, and the trolls have to come pick apart your life. These are the consequences. This is indeed what happened. How about this? Imagine posting one video where you took a moment of being a little frustrated with your husband and made it the entire internet's problem. You decided to post about it publicly on the most occupied social media platform that exists worldwide instead of handling it privately like adults. Imagine that. Can you imagine that? I can imagine receiving multiple different kinds of input when I publicly post something and not receiving only pure validation and only an echo chamber. I can't imagine that, actually. It's completely within my realm of understanding. Can you imagine not making every single beef with your husband so up for public scrutiny and allowing people to create the worst case scenarios and attribute them to your family? Because you clearly can't imagine that. That clearly has not crossed your mind, man. Caption reads, just a reminder that one video in the internet never tells the full story. And it takes zero effort to be kind. Hand heart emoji. Oh God, it's giving positive vibes only from the most toxic person you know. How much effort did it take for you to film and edit and capture and upload that video? I have to double check something. God forbid she pinned it. Please don't tell me she pinned it. Okay, thank God. She has not pinned the video to her profile, because I would say that's a classic look for the partner shamers, is they also pin the viral video that makes their spouse look terrible while while being upset. Oh my gosh. This was the most recent one that I found as of yesterday. But I might do a quick little looky-loo to see if there's been any further updates. So again, we have a quick little video of her existing in daily life, acting nonchalant but desperately fighting for her life. Reacting to the comment, sounds like tomorrow you're doing breakfast, lunch, dinner, shopping, and a movie out for 14 hours. Again, have had no issue with this. She replies, answering some frequently asked questions. 1. This was a golf invitational, not a simple 18-hole round. I am well aware that a standard round is 4 to 6 hours max. I don't know why thousands of people feel the need to post the same thing over and over. I don't know, probably the same reason you feel the need to post the same thing over and over. That's social media, baby. 2, yes, this was a planned event and we did have communication throughout the day. It's 2025, people. Then why would you like a bajillion freaking comments saying, you guys need more communication. You guys need more communication. It sounds like you needed to communicate more. Communication? Did you guys communicate? Communication. Like. Why would you like those instead of commenting and saying, we did have communication? This is why I can't be a marriage counselor, because you can't talk to your clients like this. And then has the audacity to go, come on, people, it's 2025. We all know what this fiscal year is. You specifically, exclusively you, are the one who curated a narrative and participated in endorsing comments that led us to believe there was not communication. Why are you gaslighting us all so hard? Oh my God, I don't know Levi here. It's been a minute since I've seen Levi, actually. That's why I have not been calm lately, is because of a lack of Levi. Inexcusable. Levi is not here to tell me to calm down, and that is the problem. Dude, no. She is girl boss gatekeep gaslighting us so freaking hard right now, dude. 3, it's normal for partners to have hobbies. This doesn't happen all the time, and I get my time to do things with friends too. So then delete the video. If you delete the video, then there will be no more problems, because ain't none of your other videos getting any views anyway. all of your problems would go away if you just deleted the video. But you won't, because you liked all of the validation that you originally received. Girl. 4, allow this. Yes, he's a grown man, and when I'm not 32 weeks pregnant and postpartum, I will have my girl trips when the time is right. And 5, yes, I will defend him because this hit the toxic side of the internet, and no one deserves this type of bullying from a singular video. Ma'am, you quite literally, and I can even hold your hand while I say this if I need to, you quite literally are the one who set your husband up for being bullied by taking his head and putting it on a metaphorical t-ball stand and opening up the entire internet to beating the ever-living out of it with their t-ball bats. You did that. The entire reason that any bullying is happening is because you introduced the idea that a bully deserved to be bullied. You set that stage. You set the stage, and then you're like, why are people showing up for a show? You advertised that there was a show here. You told us that there would be a drama and a bad guy. Why are you pretending that there's not a bad guy? You put a bad guy on the flyer for the show. Colonel Arnold, thank you for the 5. Says Dadvocate the marriage counselor. We need not the one we want. Now that needs to be a t-shirt. Hold up. Print screen that, baby. All right. Selker says she guided the side toward this conversation. She literally made a beacon for them. Absolutely, dude. My post was for the overstimulated mom who have hard solo parenting days. No, stop this. Could you imagine if a man made a video looking like super exasperated, and like imagine your husband makes a video looking super exasperated and is like, when your wife was supposed to be back from her girls trip 4 hours ago, but allegedly her flight was delayed and you're holding it down with 2 kids, and the internet started going, she's cheating, she's cheating, she's cheating. Like, you would be 100% okay with him leaving that video up? No, really. Like, I would love for her to look me in the eyes and be like, no, it's fine. It's just a video for the other, like, dad's having a hard time. Be so serious. Come on. Like, you can live in your delusional fantasy land in your head where you pretend that we're all stupid, but we clearly are not, because you're getting called out left and right, and you can like double down and pretend you're just the victim, and oh, bad things just happen to you, and mean people just happen to find you, and everyone's just always mean to you for no reason. You can pretend that if you want. I won't be though. Caption reads, I enjoyed sleeping in the next day, went to breakfast with my aunt, and binge watched The Summer I Turned Pretty while the hubs was on daddy duty. If my content isn't for you, please keep scrolling. In my 5 years of posting content, I have never experienced this bullying. I hope TikTok can shoot me back to the right kind of people. Again, no one's falling for this. Like, she's pretending like she did nothing wrong, and that the collective totality of the vast majority of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people who saw her content, we all just happened to misinterpret it. And that's all of our faults. not hers. Sure, Jan. Please tell me they eat her up in the comments. Please, I beg. Okay, this is like a continued comment. Seems like she's liking a lot of these. Basically, people are saying, like, this is normal. Parents deserve to have hobbies. You go, girl. I hate that you got bullied. Okay, so, you know, she's either deleting comments or, you know, she's back to the right side of the algorithm. As of right now, I am not seeing anything else that addresses this. I think she's going to try to just go back to normal, and that's great. You know, like she's not a monetized account. She is what I think they would refer to as like a micro influencer. She has a modest but generous 3,000 follower account. So it doesn't sound like this is gonna like supremely mess up their lives or anything like that. But, you know, she got to have a little taste of it, and unfortunately, I don't think has learned anything. I don't know if this will be the last time she tries partner shaming on the internet and learns that, like, if you're gonna shame your partner, you have to understand that half of us are going to cold clock you for it right away because we are waking up. We don't like partner shaming anymore, no matter where you are at on the gender spectrum. Man, woman, we all don't like it now. Or you are going to receive an influx of attention from people who need you to divorce your husband. So really, like, nothing ideal comes out of partner shaming unless you want to divorce your husband. But if you don't want to divorce your husband, partner shaming is not going to do anything for you. And I get that she's trying to justify this decision by being like, I was just trying to reach the moms who have it hard. Guess what? All that does, though, all that content that you are trying to contribute to makes moms who are already having a hard time hate their husbands more. Did you know that? Did you realize that you're just contributing to the Ouroboros eating its own tail? The toxic poison that makes people freaking hate their husbands? That's all you're doing. Because why else would you need to marinate in that disappointment and misery? Really, what does that making that kind of content do for you? The only reason that you're doing it is because it's somehow more socially acceptable for women to do it. But trust and believe, if your man ever did something like that, complaining about, like, oh, could you imagine him being like, when you just worked a 15-hour day and you have to come home and eat the same leftovers you've had 3 days in a row because your wife doesn't feel like cooking, like, and he's just like, oh, I'm just trying to reach out to the other, like, blue-collar dads out there who, like, have to keep eating the same food. Like, no, that would not fly. And you and I both know it, as it shouldn't. As it shouldn't. Because this should not be normalized behavior to just come up on the internet and just shit all over your spouse in marriage and allow people to think the worst of them. Because I'm sorry, there does not exist a reality where you come on the internet and you complain about your husband to TikTok and they go, babe, I really think that you should give him the benefit of the doubt and assume positive intent because you have been married for a long time, and I'm sure that if you just ask enough questions, you'll understand with more clarity where he was coming from. No one's going to say that to you. They just won't. They don't care for you to fix your marriage. Literally, no one is going to do that for you. You need, if you're going to really confide about issues you have in your marriage, the only people that you can do it with are people that you trust to be extremely unbiased. You trust to call you out on your BS, and people that you trust actually know your history and background with your husband or spouse and know how many sacrifices they have made for you to where they can truly, like, help you. Not just people who are going to like repeat back whatever you're feeling and validate you and like help cause drama because it's entertaining, which is the internet. These people don't know you. They don't care about you. They just want the drama, and your divorce would be tea. They don't care about the outcome that would have on you and your children. They just don't. So, like, why are you catering to them and bending over backwards for them and making your life a public spectacle and a shit show for free? So, lesson learned, lady. You definitely fucked around and found out with that one. You got to have like your 15 minutes of validation, but you've now spent days, days trying to just fix all of this. Okay? Just absolute crisis management mode has been your life. And for what? For you to just end up agreeing that it's totally okay for your husband to do it anyway? Yeah, that sure is helping all the moms struggling, I guess. What a silly, goofy lady. And then, like, I love when they always, like, make up these things, like, I'm just a chaotic mama. Yeah, I guess that's one way to rebrand being unreliable and intellectually inconsistent. So that was our first topic of the day. Just wanted to cover that one. Went a little bit viral there. If you saw the first one, you might have just come out of that thinking like, damn, that lady's definitely getting cheated on anyway, but we dig a little bit deeper and allegedly she's not. But only like a few hundred people know that compared to the hundreds of thousands of people who have already decided that you are a cuckold. Whew! Couldn't be me. Could not be me, though. All right. Next up, the next topic. All right. In the lineup of hoes we cannot save, we're gonna roast a young man today. We're firing on all sides, okay? We do not pick and choose who we roast today. If your behavior is just absolutely antisocial AF and you need a correcting, we might need to cover that. So here's something I came across. And there's a lot to cover here. Okay. I guess to be sensitive, I should say, I guess I don't really need to do a trigger warning. You guys should be able to handle this one. Before we start, audio only crew, I would say that actually watching this might be worth your while if you're one of those like body language analyst types, but if you don't mind me just narrating, don't feel the need to stare at your screen. I'll still contextualize everything. What we have here is a young woman is filming some kind of altercation. We do see a young man on screen, just kind of dressed normal, nothing crazy to note about his physical appearance, and the text on screen reads, PSA, Kelowna girlies, watch out for this person. His name is Mike. I said hi to him exactly once, and now this happens every time I bump into him in my apartment building. If I call the police, he just doesn't answer the door. Thankfully, this time another tenant came to my rescue as Mike blocked me from exiting the room, even though I was the one leaving and he was coming in. Be safe out there, loves. There are incels everywhere. Okay. Super chat from Gus. Oh, I haven't seen you in a minute, Gus. So good to see you. Yay, Lauren finally said silly goofy again. Have you been missing my vernacular of the word goofy and silly? I'll bring him back. So anyway, here's the full video. Oh, sorry, let me turn the volume on. Necessary.
Good morning, to be your friend.
So
You can't fucking understand.
I don't want to be your
I'm here,
friend. I
miss.
don't
Open
want
the
to be your
fucking door that-
friend.
After you, will you hold this fucking door open?
I don't want to be your friend. I'm not interested.
You're so fucking rude, it's ridiculous.
I'm just not interested.
You're just so rude.
I have to go get my
You're just
grocery
so
order and I'm just
fucking rude.
nervous about coming.
Honestly. What?
Yeah, there's really not much I can do. I can't really play much devil's advocate for young Mike here. Man, there should never be. I cannot, in all my wildest, like, situation building brain, I cannot come up with a situation or scenario where it would be appropriate for you to be screaming at your neighbor that you simply just like live in some adjacent perimeter to. I just want to be your friend. Can't you fucking understand that? I think we're too far down. I think we're too far gone. We've lost the plot there, sir. No, you don't. No one needs to be friends that bad where you're screaming at someone. Now here's I guess this is like the one situation I could really, really try is if he genuinely just like every time he saw her was just like, hey, how are you? Like, and always interacted. And then she was calling the cops on him to a point where like the cops are calling him and being like, you need to leave this woman alone. And he's like, I literally just interact every time I see her. And then during this interaction, she's like, Mike, you need to stay away from me. And he's like, or I'm going to call the cops. And he's like, the only reason I ever talk to you is just to be your friend. Like, maybe I'm stretching. I am reaching to come up with this situation where he might possibly be so annoyed that he needs to scream like, I was just trying to be your friend. But I really think I'm just reaching. I think I'm making up an alibi for Mike. I think that I am needlessly being Mike's PR guy. It's very hard to imagine a situation where this ends up being justifiable. This is posted from an anonymous account. Okay. And there's a part 2.
Can you please just go home? I'm
No,
not interested.
I don't have to. After you, sir.
He's not
because
gonna
she's
leave me
creating
here.
a fucking disturbance.
Can you leave?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm just going to get my groceries and I don't
Here, I'll get the door for you.
So how this video starts is another tenant who appears to be male kind of steps in because he sees like, oh, what is going on? Like, why is there yelling in the middle of this hallway in the parking garage? And this guy, Mike, says to the tenant that she is being the fucking disturbance. His words. Before we continue watching, the text overlay says, Part 2. Girlies in Kelowna, please watch out for this person. His name is Mike. This took place in the landmark area of town. He does not have a car and is known to walk the trails around the Parkinson Rec Center. Go to Part 1 for the backstory. In this video, Mike was trying to force me to go through the door while he held it open, even though he was coming in and could have left me alone and taken the elevator up to his apartment. This was all before he started nearly crying and telling me he just wants to be friends with me so badly, as seen in Part 1. This is not the first interaction of this nature with Mike. When I call the police, he doesn't answer the door. Please comment any advice as I'm at a loss. We'll continue to update on this.
I'll get the door for you. You don't belong here. You have created nothing but a disturbance since day one. Send it to the RCMP.
I am, because
So now he offers to hold the door open for her while occupying exactly 75% of the entire doorway. Like, even I know that the only way for her to possibly move through this space without just opening the other door herself, completely defeating the purpose of him holding open the door, is for her to literally like brush against him, which, as you can imagine from the hostility going on, is not very ideal here. He's now continuing to yell at her that she has been a disturbance since day one. Now, if she's such a disturbance, why are you insisting on occupying the same space as her instead of just going on your merry way and making your own complaints to whatever management or whomever he quoted here, right? And then someone else says, Dissident says, why is he saying you've been nothing but a disturbance? I wonder, though. This is where, in my most charitable of interpretations of what's been going on, is perhaps he really has, like I said, just been publicly interacting with her, which is totally legal to say, like, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Beautiful day we're having, isn't it? What are you planning to have for dinner? You might feel like it's annoying and intrusive, but it's perfectly legal, you know? But if she's the one who's like constantly reporting every interaction to police in a completely out of line way before it's ever escalated this much, then like I might be pissed off too. Of course, like if there's a person like constantly reporting every single thing that I'm doing to the police as a man, probably best to not escalate with that person. Like probably best to avoid them at all costs, right? Like why would you do this knowing that she's filming you and like just to validate all of her complaints about you, really? What a gentleman holding the door for a woman.
Making me feel very...
Send it to the RCMP.
I'm in a corner right now.
It's so... I am holding the door open for
I'm not safe going through
After
here.
you've been holding it for 5 minutes.
So now she kind of looks around her surroundings and says, so I'm trapped in a corner right now. And he's like, I'm holding the door, which like, stop. Don't. Stop doing that, Mike. And then he goes, you've been holding the door for 5 minutes. So now I am wondering, like, what is the situation here? Did she, as soon as she saw him, like, start filming and, like, insist that he needs to back up before she can fully walk out the door, and he refused, and it's just been, like, a standoff? I don't know. Shoulder check him? I don't know about that.
If you want,
I came down the stairs.
Fuck you.
Hey, Mike.
You don't know shit, Drew. You've created nothing but a spiritual
police are
disturbance
constantly
in this
here
building.
because...
So now he's like, fuck you, Drew. Drew is the other tenant, and he does not like Drew being involved in this. Now he's telling her, and this is how I know, like, I was willing to give some benefit of the doubt that this girl has in some way been... You can't just tell someone they're being a spiritual disturbance. Like, then light some sage, Mike. Don't put yourself in this situation.
Since you fucking moved in, day one. After you, miss. After you. My hands are here.
After you. Mike, you are now occupying approximately 90% of the doorway. No one can move through here, and even if she wants to push this door open, she doesn't want to be anywhere near you. Wait, what? Did the stream die, or is it just YouTube? Stream chugging. Weird. It says that I'm at like over 2,700 kbps, but clearly multiple of you are having issues. Let me give it a minute here. Interesting. Anybody from the Twitch or Facebook crowd able to chime in and let me know if something is off? I wonder, yesterday, myself and my editor were having some issues with YouTube Studio that we couldn't seem to figure out, and it's behaving well now. Everybody turn it off and turn it back on again, okay? Audio cutting out. Interesting. That can happen sometimes too, the audio stuff, where if you like turn it off, turn it back on again. Everybody leave and come back. Okay, we'll fix this. We got this. Sorry, I'm choking on air really quick. Cool. Anyway, part 3.
Honestly, man, yo, go and have your way. But you coming around creating a fucking disturbance, you're a newbie. Earn some fucking respect, earn some fucking rules, and learn how this fucking building works.
So in part 3, she says, my neighbor Mike crashing out because I didn't want to date him or be his friend, which, like, yeah, he does seem to be crashing out pretty hard right now. He says, once again, you've been a disturbance since day 1, ever since you moved into this building. He says, you're a newbie. Learn how this building works. Earn some respect. Earn some rules. Or maybe he said, learn some rules. Really Karening out right now. Absolute Karen nonsense moment for neighbor Mike here. The text overlay reads, the Kelowna RCMP, I don't know what that means, I'm assuming like building management, property management maybe, attended and knocked on his door. He did not answer, so they left. One officer called me on the way out and told me that they were supposed to be off at 7 p.m. at 7:09 p.m. They didn't give me the file number, nor did they even leave a card. If anyone has advice regarding the police assistance, please comment or DM.
Because you've been nothing but rude since day 1, and
She's allowed to be rude. Like, here's the thing. I obviously don't have a very, like, fond opinion of needlessly rude women or needlessly rude men. I get along a lot better with people who are nice, personally. I don't care for rude behavior, but people are 100% legally allowed to be rude to you. Your neighbors do not owe you being nice. Like, if they're not smoking in the buildings, if they're not blocking any pathways, if they're complying with the property management standard, they do not owe you friendship. They do not owe you a conversation. They can just look up at you with their earbuds and completely ignore you, and that is their right as an American, like, being, okay? That is a natural right. And how dare you feel so Karenly entitled to more? You don't deserve more. That's crazy.
been pissing on everybody's fucking parade. Show some fucking respect. I fucking care about you. He probably
It doesn't seem like you do. Can you
I
do. Wow, now I guess he's trying to go like intervention style or something, or maybe even like plead the case that if you care about someone, then they have to be nice to you, because he's like, I care about you, he cares about you, even Drew, who I just said you to, Drew cares about you, and she's like, it doesn't feel like it. Like, funny way of showing it, Mike.
do. I fucking do. And you came in and you just...
Oh, they're not Americans, they're Canadian? Either way, is it different in Canada? It probably is. It probably is illegal to be rude in Canada.
started creating a bunch of nonsense.
Because I told you I'm not interested.
I don't want a fucking problem with you. I'm just trying to live my life. And you just came in, you're recording our conversation without my prior
because
knowledge.
you keep doing this when I see you. I'm afraid to bump into you because you yell at me.
I don't want you to be
then
afraid
just
of me.
Go home. Continue your
That
day.
fucking phone is your demon.
Oh, God. It's like the equivalent of pedal panic. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there is this phenomenon in driving that causes a ton of accidents where a person, it like intends to brake, but they hit the wrong gas pedal, and in their panic of not hitting brake when they need to, they can't take their foot off the gas pedal, and this is where people end up like driving fully into buildings or just causing tons of damage. And like, I swear that people get caught up in this in like high anxiety or hostile situations where like, instead of just walking away from the situation, which is the best tactic for survival and self-preservation, they just can't stop fighting. And in this situation, dude, maybe she is the one being like needlessly aggressive. Again, maybe in like Mike's most charitable interpretation, he's literally just been an average guy interacting and has been like villainized at every single point to a degree that like it's caused a lot of problems in his life and he's incredibly frustrated. Even if that was the situation, by the point that she is recording you and clearly telling you over and over again that she doesn't feel safe by you, she doesn't want to be near you, she doesn't want anything to do with you, why would you be screaming, I don't want you to be afraid of me? And then she goes, go home, and you go, no! Then we can't save you. Like, then we cannot help you, brother. Like, I hate to tell men that you don't get to operate with free sovereignty if any woman is the slightest bit uncomfortable around you, but I am telling you, like, again, like, it's just survival and self-preservation. You know, it's kind of like Emily King just covered this one video recently where a male jogger is jogging behind a woman. And he's kind of talking about how like he has this internal struggle of like, I would like to go a faster pace than her, but I do not want her to be afraid that I'm running up behind her. So I have to like really slow down my pace right now until she turns so that I can find a more appropriate way to find a different path. And Emily goes on to say that this is actually like really smart of him because he is being very mindful of his environment. He's taking care of himself. He's taking care of her. And she agreed with his mindset. And so do I. You know, it sucks that he had to like, you know, ruin a potential PR, right? Like throw off his game a little bit, but you know, it's just one of the things that you just have to take care of yourself, you know? You really do. It's kind of like women, we should be able to walk around at night in a bikini without being attacked or being catcalled, but we probably shouldn't. We probably shouldn't walk around alone at night in the middle of a city in a bikini. We probably should not do that. Not without some kind of protection or safety system in place. Just reckless. So this woman, she basically, at this point, from all of the updates that I've seen, and you can go check up on this account if you're curious to see more for yourself. But at this point, she was able to work with one police officer who did do a check-in with Mike, who said that on the day of that confrontation, he was not sober, he was pretty drunk, but agreed that he will completely leave her alone. She goes on and on to say that she's still, like, completely worried and freaked out by his behavior. And I mean, like, I would be... This is really wild to act like this, and it sucks that this dude has to get like blasted online, because the thing is, like, this girl, she's saying that she's terrified for her life and all this stuff, but then she's also like posting about it. She's like, well, I have to stay anonymous, and I'm like, do you think he doesn't know who posted this? Like, there's unless he like is so regularly confronting women who are filming him and having these exact interactions that he can't tell who it was, he probably knows who it was. And like, I don't know, man, this is not me victim blaming at all, but in the name of self-preservation and self-protection, just as Mike, like, and any man should not be provoking a woman who's said explicitly she's afraid of you. If you are afraid that a man is actually going to harm you, you probably shouldn't be provoking him either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that she's trying to warn women on a mass scale, but you live in the same building as this man. If he finds out that you're doing this, he knows exactly where you live, and if he is as violent as you think that he is, like, I think that him finding out that you're posting this would probably send him over the edge. What do you guys think? Do you think that it probably is very dangerous for her to post this? Do you think that I am victim blaming by expressing concern for her posting this? Do you think that there's some middle ground in between those two places? Do you wonder, like, what if there is any alternative intention behind her posting it? I will say, I do truly believe that she did post this with the intention of warning others about a crazy Karen. I don't think she's intending to, like, make money or go viral or become famous for this situation. I do genuinely think that she's just like, dude, people in my area, look out for this person, okay? One of you says posting was definitely a mistake. Others are still agreeing this dude is nuts. And I mean, here's the thing. This is why when I got a restraining order against a, in my opinion, crazy person years ago, I opted not to, for many reasons, expose who that was about. Why? Because, like, I truly felt that they would escalate if I did. I truly do. Like, to this day, I'm not certain that they aren't watching everything that I post, because the obsessive behavior continued for a very long time. Same reason that, a lot of you may not know this, but the very first person that I ever dated was an ABUSIVE relationship in which I was harmed in the bladed variety and have the scarification to prove it. And I do not name drop that character. I do not identify them. Why? Because they're still out there. And still know how to use a knife, imaginably. So this is not me saying if you were really in danger, you wouldn't do it, because everybody acts differently. And I actually agree that she probably is in danger. I absolutely do. I'm just saying that there are good reasons to not escalate these types of situations, especially as well, if you are going to try to take legal action, it's best to avoid putting it all online, because the chances of actually being helped go way down once it becomes a viral spectacle. They don't want to take you seriously anymore, and any exposure of details or things that are supposed to be kind of kept close to the chest could ruin any investigation. There's a lot of reasons for it. Obviously, when you're in the height or the midst of a crazy situation like this, it can be hard to think clearly and make the best judgment. But like I said, and as usual on this channel, we cannot save, I'm not going to use the, I like to say we cannot save these hoes because it's funny to say, but in this situation, it's not appropriate. We can't save these people, but we can learn from these people. Okay? We can at least learn a lesson. This is now my Lauren headcanon. To what? Last of the Infamous? What did they say? Oh, snap, she dated Blade. Is Lauren a vampire that goes to techno clubs? It's actually funny when it comes to the vampire lore. We actually made a lot of vampire jokes when I was pregnant because the baby broke my rib cage, which is what happens to Bella Swan in Twilight. Samantha actually counters what I just said, saying in the Gabby Petito case, public attention seemed to light a fire under law enforcement's asses. Well, sometimes, if it's like a cute girl. Sometimes if pretty privilege is involved, I guess. I don't know if this girl's pretty enough to get law enforcement on her side. All right. We're going to take a quick little break here in a minute, so I can eat a quick snacky snack, run to the bathroom, change out my camera battery. But I'm going to give you some options that we can vote on to react to when we return. And I want to let you guys know, I do have a small wholesome bank that I've been collecting. So if things get a little bit too intense, emotional, dark, depressing, you can ask me to use a wholesome card and we can watch a wholesome thing. Wait, what? Why are you guys saying ouch and Lauren? What did I do? Wait, what did I say? Am I an idiot? Did I just forget that I said something insane? Anyway. Here are some options you guys can pick from. We can either react to a mom who brings all of her sons and their friends into a room to have a little talk with them about something boy related. It's a little funny, a little silly, goofy. Oh, ouch for the ribs, I think. Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, what's the big deal? Doesn't everybody's baby just like go in there with the little baby property brothers and start clearing out a couple walls? Isn't that pretty standard? Or for what I said about pretty privilege. Yeah, that could be too. I just be like firing at the hip, saying inappropriate shit, not thinking about the consequences sometimes. Don't we all? So we could either cover mom having a talk with the boys. We could talk about, I think I actually covered that one. Let me get rid of that one. We don't need that. Or we can go into some Reddit territory. We've got a dad whose daughter is pissed at him. You'll find out why. Or we can do nice girls. You guys vote on if you want the mom's talk with her sons and their friends, a daughter pissed at her dad and why, or some nice girls. You guys vote on that. I'm going to change out my camera battery, eat a quick snack. We will be back probably before 12:40 p.m. EST, I think. But give me a quick moment. BRB. Okay, cool. That took a lot less time than I thought that it would. Man, okay. I don't know how you got moved so far away, but come back with me here. Camera. Ugh, I don't know how many of you guys are on ADHD meds, but those of you who are, you know how they just like completely take away your appetite, at least a bunch of them? That's like very similar to what my anti-epilepsy meds do to me. It's something that I'm like still getting used to. I've mentioned that like they make me extremely nauseous. There was one live that I was late to because I just was like, I can't. I think that's actually why you might have noticed in like the last couple of my lives, there will be times where like I try to talk and my voice just like goes away. We're fighting demons getting used to these meds. And it's tough. Like it's actually tough to like get food down for a really long time. And I'm like, this must be what my husband and steps actually food time and have been going through for years. Like I get it now why they do not eat like all day long until the end of the day when the meds are finally starting to wear off and before you take your second one. Like I just had to force myself to eat some protein. I was like, girl, you got to. It's 12 p.m. You gotta eat something. But it is tough out here. So I usually like feast by like 7 or 8 p.m. when I'm finally ready to eat. Again, it's cutting out. God dang. I'm gonna blame YouTube for this. Yeah, go ahead and reload real quick, everybody. If you're having issues, if it's being wonky. Interesting. Maybe it is me though, because it just said it had to reconnect real quick. Okay, weird. Very weird. Okay, I think we're back though. Sorry for the wiggles. The buffering. Beautiful. All right, let me go back and see what we voted on. Ritalin, I haven't eaten in 3 days. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Anti-epilepsy. Yeah, so I don't have a seizure and power slap the floor with my face. Because let me tell you, it's not fun and it's embarrassing. I just kept apologizing so bad. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to kill the vibe by seizing in front of everybody. Sorry. Okay. What did we end up voting on? Some of you said, nice girl. My mod, Phil, says everybody's been well behaved today. I agree from what I've seen. Thank you. Shara Blackfin, glad you were able to catch on. A lot of nice girl stuff. Okay, okay. Let's finish up the day with some nice girls. Hey. Ooh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep that lined up. That one's not a nice girl, but it is making fun of cheaters. So we'll do that one too. Y'all ever peel off the roof of your mouth? You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Okay. Let me just... Cool. Sorry, you guys know I'm like a sucker for formatting. I like to just get it right in there. Posted to r/nice-girls. Right, guys, I can see where this is going, so giving everyone a chance to guide me with my response. Just matched today and just started talking. All right. OP, I presume is a male, says, "Oh, I really hope they turn up soon. I'm assuming she lost something." Says, "That's fair. That's the same with me. I like to travel to new places and rarely go to the same place again. Although I went to Slovenia a few years ago and it was so lovely. I'd love to go back there again someday. What do you do for work?" Uh-oh. Uh-oh, fellas. You're not allowed to ask that question. The women do not like it when you ask that question. We have seen so many melty bees result from asking this question to a woman. Oh, red card. That's illegal. How's it going to play out for him, Cotton? "I'm a private care worker and microblading master, but I don't think it should matter to man what woman does for work, as man is protector and provider in relationships." He says, so if a man's job is protector and provider in a relationship, what is the woman's job in a relationship? Oh, that's going to be another red card. All right, you are on your second strike here, sir. You are not allowed to protest against a woman's logic. You're not allowed to ask questions that could potentially poke holes in what they're telling you is right or wrong. Ooh, shame, sir. That's illegal. She says, keeping good harmony, nurture, look after healthy meal cooking, passion, intuition, inspiration. Look after his reputation by respectful attitude towards him. Just traditional things, you know. Now, to be fair, is she fully wrong? What is a woman's job? I mean, this is interesting because it's like, he's like, "What do you do for work?" She's like, "I do work, but I'm not supposed to." Like, she's basically saying, like, this is what I have to do until you allow me to quit. But if you let me quit, I will keep good harmony, nurture you, feed you. I'll be passionate. I'll inspire you, and I will make sure you have a better reputation. To be fair, a lot of dudes would be down for that. There are some men who are like, "I really do not mind paying the bills if, like, you are actually nice to me." So honestly, I might switch up on this nice girl. I might switch up, especially if she had anything in her bio that was like making it very, very clear that she is like a trad wife, you know? Because if like a woman is like, "I'm a traditional woman, I'm looking to be a traditional wife," and you're like, "Well, I was hoping you would work," and she's like, "No, it was like literally on the packaging." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be mad at anybody else if I buy vegan cookies and I'm mad that they taste like shit. I should have double checked the packaging. Look, she seemed to make it pretty clear that she's trying to be a trad wife. Trad wives, they don't work, but they do. And like everything that she's describing does sound like what a lot of men describe their dream woman to be. It's just that due to today's modern economy, a lot of men also, on top of those things, are kind of hoping that you have some career experience and are willing to utilize it because there are a lot of benefits of dual income. And I've stressed again, like many, many times on this channel, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting either. I don't think it's wrong as a man to want a dual income family. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with having one breadwinner, having a sole income home either. It's just that in both situations, you have to be ready for the consequences, right? Like, you know, obviously the consequences of dual income means that, you know, you guys might miss out on some moments of childcare while having others step in for you to work, having to utilize the childcare system. Cons of single income is like if there's a workplace injury or something goes awry, what do? Do you have backup savings? It gets tricky in any situation. Relationships are hard, you know? Hard but rewarding. Yeah, I don't know, actually. This might be one of the first times in reading Nice Girl history that I was actually just like, I'll allow it. That's as bad as it gets with that one. Like, that truly is the worst one that there is from that one. This one has a little bit more to it. Okay. This reads, and this is in r/BORU updates. Now that stands for Best of Redditor Updates. So what I love about this sub is it gives you every story, like every post, piece for piece. Like they collect and archive like history happening, but all in one place so that you can see. And they even have like filters like, you know, is this concluded? Is it ongoing? So you know, you can stay in the loop. Jason, what did I miss? You're actually just in time, my friend. We're just about to get into this one. This one's like a little bit of Nice Girl, a little bit of getting to make fun of cheaters. So right up my alley. Title reads, My cousin's mad that I don't want to date her cheater friend. Says concluded as per original poster. Sorry, there's still something in my eye. I had to get it out real quick. Thank you. Ran into my cousin and her friend at a party last weekend. Hung out with her friend most of the night. We got along. She's cute and she asked for my number. We started texting. Yesterday I was telling my friend about her and how we were planning a date, and he told me that she'd been caught cheating on a boyfriend of hers a couple years ago. Even reached out to that boyfriend and he confirmed it all. I asked her if this was true and she admitted she'd, quote, made a horrible mistake, but that she had, quote, grown and reflected. I don't really care though. I lost all interest in her once I knew what she'd done. So I told it was best if we cancel our date and look elsewhere. Now my cousin and her are trying to convince me that it was a one-time thing and she's learned her lesson, but I could never be with someone who has ever cheated. Sucks too. I really liked her, but the damage is done. Really quick before we move on to the update, I personally don't necessarily believe once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, I've definitely known plenty of people, myself included, who have cheated in our pasts and like just know that it's not in our blood because the little taste that we got, just instant bad feeling, like did not feel good, cried a lot of tears, like came clean. You know what I mean? There are people like that who move on to never do it again. So I don't necessarily believe once a cheater, always a cheater. But I also agree that you are 100% allowed to have that boundary. Like, after I did what I did, like, I was always forthcoming about it in future relationships. Like, I told TJ, I was like, I want you to know, like, I did cheat in a past relationship. I was very honest and forthcoming about it. And if he was to go, like, oh, that's a deal breaker for me, like, I would just have to live with that. Like, I was fully prepared for that potential outcome. But I felt that he deserved to know, you know? So I can see multiple sides of this, but I definitely also agree, like, you're allowed to cancel a date 100%. Like, you don't want to take that risk 100%. Like, you do not have to gamble and play with fire. I get it. Then in an edit to that post, A few hours after I posted this, I started getting texts from 2 of my cousins / her friends also trying to convince me that it was no big deal. They were like character witnesses in a courtroom or something. Lots of claims that she really likes me and that I'm the first guy she's been interested in years, claiming she felt so terrible she stayed single the entire time and has only recently been open to dating, and that I'm going to hurt her badly if I don't give her a chance. I feel bad, but also this is bizarre in an almost funny kind of way. I don't know why they're fighting so hard for this. I'm just some guy she met at a party. I'm pretty average looking. There's a shortage of tall, hairy, chubby men out there that has women dying of thirst. This is absurd. I appreciate that this guy is like, why are you even doing this? Like, I'm painfully average. Well, that's what makes him so attractive, is there is something attractive about that kind of like actual, genuine, wholesome humbleness about a person where you're just like, I like that, you know? But it goes on. Here are some of the main comments on that post, by the way, before we get our update. LOL, she'll get over it. It's completely valid to not want to take that chance. So similar to what I said. OP says, yeah, it just sucks. I actually believe she's sorry for what she's done, but it just isn't enough. Trust was broken before it had time to form. Another person said, yeah, you just never know if a person is sorry because she truly is sorry, or if she's sorry because she got caught and now it's affecting her future relationships. OP said, cheating is 100% a hard deal breaker for me. Valid. Someone else says, this is understandable. Cheating is a big deal breaker. There are so many people out there who haven't cheated. There is no reason to waste time with people who have. OP says, second woman I've really liked up front, but found a deal breaker early on in only 3 months. Just glad it keeps happening early, I suppose, instead of me getting invested. Then someone else asks, what was the deal breaker for the other woman? Also a history of cheating? They say, no cheating, we were getting along great and went on a few dates, but she then told me she was asexual and hoped I'd be okay with it. I wasn't. I have no interest in being in a sexless relationship, so I stopped seeing her. Props, though, to the woman for coming out and just saying it. Very helpful. I've got to imagine dating must be incredibly difficult as an asexual person, but thank you for coming out and saying it, you know? Update. 11 days later. So for a few days, I entertained my cousin Leah, the girl who cheated. Oh, my cousin and Leah would have been much better formatting when referring to either your cousin or someone you were romantically interested in. Important formatting and language there. And a few friends pestering me because I was confused and amused by a bunch of women trying to force me to date someone. I'm not ugly, at least in my opinion, but I'm not worth this amount of work to try and win over when I've already said no a dozen times. I sent my cousin the following text that seems to have settled the issue. By the way, this does not pass the gender swap. You can't just badger a woman this hard. Date my friend! Date him! Date him, you bitch! Would never go. Would never land. So here's the text it reads. Hey, I know you guys are just looking out for Leah, but you have to know that dragging this out and pushing me to date her when I don't want to is doing more harm than good for her. You're giving her false hope when I've been very honest with her and you that this isn't happening. Let's assume I do what you ladies want and I go out with Leah. Let's even assume I fall for her and we get serious. I will spend the rest of my life with a nagging insecurity in the back of my head that she is going to do the same thing she did to Josh to me. I just don't want a relationship where I can't even trust the person I'm with. And as my family, you should love me enough to not want that for me either. Just drop it because I don't want my relationship with you to suffer because of this. Please just respect my wishes and let it go. She replied with a, understood. End of discussion then. Love you. Leah sent me a text with, I'll respect your wishes on this. If you ever change your mind, know that you're a great guy and I'd still be open to giving us a shot. but this is the last time I'll mention it unless you do change your mind. So that's it. It's over. I have no idea why I was being harassed about this, but I'm no longer getting texts about it, so I'm moving on. Now, if I can just find a woman who hasn't cheated or isn't a closet asexual, that would be great. Some of the top comments read, "You're a fucking legend, my guy. Shut it down, held the line, dodged a walking red flag, and stayed respectful. King behavior. A model for the young men in these trying times." OP replied, "While what they did is wrong from my perspective, I do believe they had her best interest at heart. I also believe that Leah is a good person who deserves a chance at love and happiness. I'm just not that guy for her because I can't get over that insecurity that would inevitably grow in me. I think she's changed and truly regrets her past actions. I was tempted to lash out at one point, but that wouldn't do anyone any good, so I tried to just keep it clean for everyone's sake. She's a beautiful woman with charm to spare, so I doubt she'll have trouble finding someone else with very little effort. I'm not her last chance at love or anything." Someone else says, "Head held high, dude. Good answer." He says, "It took me longer than I'd like to admit to write it out. That was probably draft 7 or 8 because I'm so used to most of my texts being goofy or dumb in some way. I am not good with serious stuff." Oh, what a good story of like how to properly deal with some nice girl behavior. Well executed, my guy. Are you talking to me? My beautiful ring? He did a great job, didn't he? Ever since he gave me this ring, and I gave him no pointers. Like, some women know exactly what they want, or they go shopping together. I didn't give him any ideas. He just, like, followed his heart. Oh, it's amazing. And I get compliments all the time on it. Like, I'm really not trying to brag, because it's all TJ, really. But people love that ring. Oh, Shadow God is here. That's awesome. Yeah, actually, that ended up being some pretty wholesome content in the end there. Like, we love to see people making actually good decisions or resolving issues. Doesn't always happen a whole lot, but it was that man during the entire, or that man versus the entire council of women, and he truly, like, he did hold the line. Well said. Here's another nice girl. Let's cover this one. OP writes, "I think I dodged a bullet. We met on Bumble and were talking for 2 weeks, went on 1 date. We had a pretty small argument on the weekend, and she just blew up at me, cussed me out, and blocked me everywhere. Today, she messaged me again. Pretty sure I made the right choice in saying no. Let's decide." Read what this says. So the girl in question, the nice girl, writes, "Hey, I'm sorry for ghosting you. Can we talk? I just want to reset this honestly. I was super emotional and burnt out with my dog dying, and I'm sorry." Okay, hold up. To be fair, if your dog died, I'm going to give you a big crash out card. Like, you are not in your right state of mind if your dog died. So I am actually going to afford way more generosity for whatever her behavior was, given the circumstances, than I typically would. You guys can stay with me if you want on that, but me personally, I got a big heart for dogs, as y'all know. So I'm gonna afford a little bit of a, like, I am not okay territory. So her dog died. She says, "I'm sorry. I just want a second chance." He says, "I appreciate the apology, but I don't think this will work. I really liked you, but if that's how you handle an argument, I'm not interested in seeing an actual fight over something bigger. I hope you're able to find somebody more compatible." She goes on to say, "It's unfortunate that you don't understand how grief affects someone. Hopefully you gain emotional maturity." And she's starting to lose me. She's starting to lose me here because, like, I agree that, like, it's when you are affected by grief, you don't act typically. You can lash out. You can, like, especially if you're sleep deprived. So it was right of her to, like, initiate an apology and offer up the atypical circumstances behind her behavior so that he can make, you know, have a more informed response to it. But now she's weaponizing the tragedy to guilt him and manipulate him into thinking that it's not okay to end the relationship, that he has to just deal with it, or he's an emotionally stunted, ingrate loser. Like that, okay, you're starting to lose me. I gave you major charitability points in the beginning, dude. You got a free crash out card. You better not keep crashing out, though. I said I was sorry and was so nice to you, other than me having one bad day. Okay. That's a tool. That's a tool in the narc tool belt. Whenever I bring this up, I'm not automatically armchair diagnosing someone with narcissism, but depending on how many tools you use off the belt, I have to identify the duck as the duck at some point. But we've got one of our first ones, just right off the rip here, which is minimizing a very intense overreaction to just like, it was just like one bad day. People love using these. Oh my God, nobody's perfect. It was just like one time. It always reminds me of how Cheating Chelsea calls her, at the minimum, 3-month-long affair a one-time affair. Like, okay, let's be actually serious though. One bad day. It's sad that you can't see past that, but that says more about you than it does me. When one of your dogs die. Okay, before I even move on to the next slide, we have a second tool off the tool belt, which is like another version of emotional manipulation and also like straw manning. Basically saying like, if you were going through what I was going through, you would act the exact same way, which is fallacious. You can't just say that, but it's also like this weird emotional guilting and almost like wishing their dog dies. You can't go there. I'm sorry, but I'm like I'm one of those like dog nerds where like you speaking ill of dogs, wishing death upon dogs is like incredibly blasphemous on this stream and on this channel. Like, we will not take this kind of slander. We don't need that kind of sacrilege. Is anything sacred in this world if we can't just love and respect dogs? Then, after saying when one of your dogs dies, you'll understand, she immediately just like casually goes into, can we please talk? I just want a second chance, please. Oh, God. Okay, I think she's lost me. He says, I know that you've had a rough time since Marley passed. That doesn't make it okay for you to treat me like you did. You were nice to me, I agree, but then you weren't. And then, when I tried to defend myself and clarify why you were attacking me, you dumped me and blocked me everywhere. Then, even now, you're insulting me while asking for a second chance. How do you think that looks? And let's say I give you that chance. Eventually, you're going to have another bad day, or I'll say something that pisses you off. Will you block me again? Insult me? Tell me to back the fuck off? None of that was okay, and I can only imagine that's how you deal with it next time. He's laying down the law. I don't know why I thought, just wait. Oh yeah, I did miss a super chat. Chris says, don't forget to like the live stream. Thank you, Chris. Good looking out. Chris also says, a lot of these can be categorized as providing. True. I think I'm a little bit late on reading that one. Should have read it earlier. Hold on, I want to read this from Terrible Swede 92. Oofda, you know you've really f***ed up when the Dadvocate gives you a get out of jail free card on your behavior and you lose it 10 seconds later. I had a feeling it would be immediately revoked. He continues on. You assume I don't understand grief, but I've dealt with my fair share, and on my worst day, I wouldn't talk to somebody I cared about the way you did on Saturday. And if I did, that apology would be minutes later, not days. I'm sorry that your dog died. That's really fucking shitty, and nothing I say is going to help you with that pain. I just can't be the distraction that you seem to need right now. She says, you can make whatever assumptions you want. Honestly, you barely know me. He says, exactly, and you barely know me. She continues on. I don't understand what high horse you are on to be able to tell the future and how I might behave, but good for you. Weren't we just talking about this in another stream? How easy and lazy it is for people who are behaving badly to go, oh, what are you on some high horse? What are you doing? Moral grandstanding? Like, you could just say that about anything. Like, oh, what? You're just gonna get up on a high horse all because you've never kidnapped a child? Oh, good for you. Oh, good for you with your moral grandstanding. So you've never shoved a child into a Wayfarer wardrobe and transported them 300 miles to a new home. What do you want, a cookie? Like, you can't just say that and have it erase the behavior that you are engaging in. Like, you acted like an a-hole. Please just fully own it. She like tried to halfway own it, but it's like, I hate when people apologize. And like there's two things I hate. So it can there is a lot of nuance here. I hate when people apologize, but when their apology is not fully accepted right away, they're immediately like, okay, then fuck you then, like, never mind. I don't even, wasn't even worth it. I only said this to, you know what I mean? I hate that. But I also do get really frustrated when you're trying to apologize and they just refuse or they keep demanding more. Like, both of those things can be really annoying. But there really seems to be no consistency on this girl's end to hold and maintain the accountability for her poor behavior. She's just like at this point trying to like convince him that he's the problem somehow. She goes on to say, well, I also wanted to comment on the like, oh, so what, you're Bruno? You can tell the future? Whatever. Like, no one can tell the future, but there is a lot to be said for humans trusting their gut with pattern recognition. If you behave one way, you cannot say that it is 100% unreasonable for a person to think you might behave that way again. You can't. That's gaslighting. Well, I do know from the little I did get to know, you're not a perfect person, honestly. So to not give me a second chance over being emotional is laughable, but whatever. Good luck. You're so high and mighty. I completely forgot you're a perfect person. Blocking your number. You are a fucking loser. I love that he gets this one last... She does give him a little bit of time to respond. She wants it. So before she blocks, he says, you're just confirming everything I said. Thanks for making it easy to say no to you. Goodbye. Oof, dude. There's dog dying grief. And then there's whatever that was. That was a bit much, man. That was a bit taking it a little too far. Holy goodness. Like, oh, so you're just too good to immediately forgive me for being insane within the very first couple of days of us meeting each other? Okay, enjoy being a perfect person. I will. Garuda Legend says, this is why I have mastered the art of randomization. Never let them know your next move. Honestly, though, that's actually smart. I think about this a lot when I'm like running is I've been more of a schedule person, but I've lately been like, I don't know if it's smart to run the same route regularly because people are weird. And like, yes, TJ can see if I'm getting kidnapped. Doesn't make it very easy to stop the kidnapping though, you know? I'm a very kidnappable woman. Colonel Arnold, thank you for the 5. Says man dodged a missile. Good for him. One thing that's really great though about like red flag ass women is that like they at least make it known. Like especially when they make it known early on. I'm kind of like, thank you. Thank you. What is this one? Oh boy. Do you guys want some cheater karma? The Frost Spirit 115, thank you so much for your generous super chat. Says he dodged that super well. My man's Neo. I love the amount of like wholesome, well-handled stories that we've covered today. We need more of that, you know? And one really positive influence actually where you should see a lot of that is this Friday. Check out the channel. I believe he streams across both Facebook and YouTube, but check out Dad Starting Over with my man Ralph this Friday at 11 a.m. You might have thought this is the last opportunity to see me live. But no, go over to Dad Starting Over this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you will get one more chance to see me live with my friend Ralph. But what I love about his channel is he holds a male-only space. Like, he has his own male-only group, similar to Andrew Tate. But in his space, it's actually not toxic. Like, it has a lot of the similar ideals that draws people into like the red pill, such as valuing fitness, valuing independence, like knowing what's dangerous out there for you as a man, being discerning with the kind of women that you bring into your life. But he is actually such a healthy, healed man who, in my opinion, really handles things with grace. I mean, this was a man who was cheated on, went through a divorce, and you know now he's successfully maintained 50-50 custody, is successfully co-parenting without major hostility or apprehension, and he's just guiding other men to do the same. So we love a good, healthy role model for young men in this world, because Lord knows there's a hell of a lot of bad ones. That's not gender specific, by the way. There's a hell of a lot of bad female role models as well, you know? Guess I won't be catching up today. Oh no, you're good. You're good, sardonic Lysane? But you're good. No, we're about to still just get into a couple more things before I ski-daddle. But I just want to read you guys this little story of affair karma because it tickles me. One last tickle before we go. Posted one of my favorite subreddits, r/adultery hate. When cheaters make someone an AP unsuspectingly. So if you don't know the shtick behind this subreddit, they take posts from cheaters on like affair and infidelity subreddits from other communities and just make fun of the cheaters who tell on themselves. It's peak content, in my opinion. So this cheater writes, I messed up big time. I'm already licking my chops. Tell me, mama side piece, what did you do? Because I know it was some dumb ass shit. So hey, because dude, there's just something so disgustingly MLM-y about side pieces. You would use the hey with 7 E's. I got with AP, a fair partner, at one of his gigs, and we clicked, but I never told him I'm married. We've been seeing each other for a month now. There's good sex, good connection, and communication, and right away we agreed on friends with benefits. But I never told him I'm married. So last night we talked and came across the topic of cheating, and he dropped this line. If I knew I caused someone to cheat, I would tell their partner. Yeah. Yes. Oh. Ground, find out. All day. To say I died inside would be an understatement. I've been thinking about breaking up with him before, as I feel uncomfortable with a few things about him, on top of this bombshell. He's younger than me, and he's only been in a couple of long-term relationships. Oh, really? You're finding red flags in your affair partner who doesn't even know that you have a husband? You're the one who needs to look for red flags? Yeah, but better protect yourself while lying to someone and juggling the most insane pH balance in vag history, dude. Oh my god. He's also a bit on the vanilla side, though he thinks he's not. Ah, pure summer child. He's so vanilla. He, like, only sleeps with one person at a time and doesn't lie to them about having an entire spouse. Like, get some sprinkles in your life, add some color, add some deceit, add a little bit of double life to your Baskin Robbins. Good God. So, what should I do? So he's the sweet summer child in this situation because he isn't so completely porn-addled that he's happy with regular sex and has reasonable barriers that he's willing to say up front. You're not the sweet summer child for not knowing how to navigate having a total affair on your husband while completely leading your side piece astray as well. You need help figuring this one out? You need me to tell you how to be a grown adult? Really? Oh no. I was thinking maybe come over to his place one last time, tell him I'm not feeling it anymore, and have a clean break. I'd also ask him to delete our WhatsApp chats from for any compromising stuff, since we both know we have trust issues. I know I messed up. I need advice on how to move forward with it. Dude, you're cooked. You're so cooked. Because here's the thing. People always think that you need like a court hearing to break up with someone. Like, people always think of it in like this, oh, well, they need to be able to provide admissible evidence that's approved of by the judge. Like, that's not how the real world works. He could delete all of your chats, all of your pictures, still find out that you were married the entire time that he was porking your brains out, and still reach out to your husband and tell him. And your husband can still choose to believe him, especially based off of like certain details, right? Imagine, like, what if she has certain tattoos that are not exactly visible, that only he would know about, or like a birthmark, a certain thing that she likes hearing in the bedroom that like only a romantic partner would know, details of the inside of your house if he's ever been there. Like, even if you do all that, like, you're still cooked, dude. You're cooked. You realize that, right? This is a man who sounds like he stands on business. Like, you can try to escape the consequences of this now, but like, humans are curious creatures, you know? And like, from all angles. And if you are like watching his social medias, he's likely to find yours. And if he finds out, God help you, man. He's telling your husband. He's definitely tattling. He is tattling on your ass, girlfriend. Cheating is plain scummy. I'm not going to say there aren't nuanced situations and affairs, but she didn't mention any like need for this or anything that her husband is necessarily doing incredibly wrong. Maybe she expounds upon it. It looked like that was an update post from a previous one. But hard to feel bad about that one. Very hard to feel bad about cheaters getting caught. No way that affair partner isn't curious why she wanted him to delete the chats. That's what I'm saying. These people end up telling on themselves. It makes you like very, very suspicious, you know? It's kind of like when you hear stories about the girl who's like, hey, why were you out so late last night? And the boyfriend's like, what? It's not like I was cheating on you or anything. Like, now why would you bring that up? Just people telling on themselves. All right. Well, I think that's about it for today's stream. If you have not already, please, please, please drop a like on the video. It really helps push out my stuff into the algorithm. I gotta grow this channel out a little bit. You know, I can only have so many Asmongold mentions that that keep me going, you know. I'm trying to grow this channel, y'all. That's also it for lives for the week. But like I've said, we have a schedule now. So we are live every Monday and every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Every other week, we do members only lives for Patreon members and YouTube members. Tuesday sounds like it's usually the day, but that might switch up. I will always let you guys know. And like I said, I will be on Dad Starting Over's channel this Friday at 11 if you really need more Dadvocate. If you really, really need more Dadvocate, join any Patreon tier for 25% off with code TRIPOD, and you will get access right away to a bunch of early access videos, just off the jump. We've already got them loaded up in the vault. You'll also get access to other stuff. Like I said, the merch stays merching. I personally like this design. I like it, okay? Not trying to toot my own horn too much, but I do like it, and we have fun in the Discord, which you'll get access to. I also have been mentioning, I've been wanting to play Oblivion Remastered with you guys in the Discord. I've been waiting to start the Shivering Isles quest line because I want you guys to like experience my reaction to it for the first time. So we might find some time to do that this week. Might be fun. But for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to give the chat my undivided attention so that I will see your chats, even if they're not super chats. Respond to those if you have any special requests, comments, questions, anything you need me to know. Also, keep content submissions coming to lauren@dadvocate.net. Best way to reach me. We always cool. Yeah, Asmongold reacted to my nose ring theory video, and oh my god, actually I have some tea for you before we go. I have a little bit of tea, but yeah, Asmongold reacted to my video. He had a lot of nice things to say about me, and one thing that I think was like very generous of him was he actually left in my full video, even in the edited down version that talks about like my Patreon and to follow me. Like he left all of that in, which I thought was very kind. Very kind. I'm not gonna go grab the dragon right now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But he's like semi-brumating. So I'm gonna leave him alone. Yeah, Crazy Cat Lady says I cheated once and never again. Yeah, the remorseful cheaters are out there, but I still don't blame anyone else for being weary. Punslinger, you needed to join the early gang. Early gang got plenty of the Moch Loafer tin. I also have this photograph of my old cat Romeo, who was adorable. He died at 18 years old. What a little pumpkin. But, oh god, I got so lost in the sauce. Co-op games with TJ, oh, it's so tough to plan time. We've been talking about doing Baldur's Gate together forever. Oh yeah, and now as a result of the Asmongold thing, there's a bunch of people who are like shipping me an Asmongold. Go ahead, have your fanfics. But anyway, the tea. Who would like to hear some tea really quick before I go on Roma Army and just pearly things? you may have seen already if you're following either of them. But now Roma Army, some backstory, has been talking shit about Just Pearly Things forever, like very publicly dislikes this woman. Pearly Things, as of last night, has reached out to Roma Army, welcoming her on her show. Okay. There's been no offer of like paying Roma. She's just like, do you want to come on my show? Roma held it down and was like, we need to meet up on a platform with neutral ground, like the whatever podcast. And Pearl said that her rate to go on anything else is $5,000, which confirms the rumors that Pearl might have gone on the Roma podcast, but she told Brian that he has to pay her $5,000. Word on the street is like Brian has no interest in paying her $5,000. Roma also has no interest in paying her $5,000. Pearl tried to kind of continue negotiating with Roma. I was like, well, you can always call into the show. Like, you don't have to fly in. But Roma is like, I'm not giving you the higher ground. Like, this is not fair. We need to be on a neutral playing field. I would love to see this go down, though. I would love to see it. I could tell that one would get nasty. Pearl would come at her so below the belt with everything she possibly could. Roma would come at her for everything she possibly could. I'll host it if they want to come on my show. I don't have $5,000 though. I ain't paying Pearly Things no $5,000. I'm sorry. Ain't happening. Oh. Yeah, no it is. No it is. That's ridiculous. I would love to see it, but I don't know if I would love to see it $5,000 worth. I don't know about that. I will keep you guys updated though if I learn anything. If you are a member of the Discord, you did see last night that I posted a poll because I was chatting with Roma kind of live about it. And I was like, what should Roma do? Should she go on the podcast? Should she insist on a neutral platform? Should she insist Pearl comes on her platform? What should she do? And most of the chat voted that she should insist on neutral ground, which is what she ended up doing. Oh, NYC Tech must still be catching up. It says the husband is, quote, worthless if no other women are interested. Therefore, he's cheating. Some people really feel that way, honestly. But there is something to say about, you know, a man's value increasing, or at least like a woman wanting to protect what's hers more if she knows that like others are interested. I'm not saying to weaponize that, but there's a lot to be said for it. And I love Darren said, just tell us you're broke, Lauren. Just say you're broke. Look, I say all the time, I am frugal, which means that sometimes I am broke. Nothing Pearl does or says is worth $5,000, right? Like, why would I pay $5,000 just to get trolled? Have me on the show. My rate is only $500, 10 times the fun and 1/10 the cost. Way to market yourself in this economy. The Frost Spirit says, I can come on your show if you don't mind me talking your ear off with industrial sector stuff. I might mind. Sometimes when I fully don't understand something, I like space out. But I would try to keep up. Devon says, nah, girl, what are you talking about? Everyone knows Lauren is secretly a millionaire, driving around in a cyber truck. I will say, though, if I ever was a millionaire, no one would know. No one would know. You're not going to see no freaking Louis Vuitton, no exorbitant, nothing. You ain't going to know. I might make a few less videos, though. All right. It is time for me to get out of here. Anything else you guys need from me before we all depart for this lovely weekend? All right. On that note, Your Cybertruck. Yeah, don't worry. I was definitely being facetious. Sundays with tripod too. That's exactly right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to not plug my husband, but it's not exactly me involved, but if you just need more of the family, TJ always streams on his channel, OTL Rook like the chess piece, on YouTube, Twitch, basically everything. They play some D&D at 7 p.m. EST on Sundays. I will see you guys next Monday and this Friday if you pop on over